Nice. I'm gonna go with be nice. No, I'm gonna say be nice. I didn't say nice. Jeez, I'm not that mean. Come on. No, I said be nice to those around you. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to read these stories and write some equations, and we're going to solve some stuff. So we've got that a student in an algebra course has these test scores, 75, 82, 71, 84. What score do they need on the next test to get an average of 80? So, first things first, where are we going to start? You could start with what's their average now. Absolutely fine. Good place to always start is to figure out what we're looking for. Figure out what your variable is. What's our variable going to be? X. What's X going to mean? The next test score. That's what we're looking to find. The easiest way to find that is to look at your question. What score on the next test? That is literally what they're asking me, so that's usually what your variable is going to be. How do we find the average? Add everything and divide it by however many, right? So we could find the average of what they currently have, but that doesn't really help us. What we want to know is the average of those 4 tests with another one. So 75 and 82 and 71 and 84 and one more test, right? It's the test we don't know what the score is. X or Y or Z or heart or happy face. I genuinely don't care what your variable is. It doesn't matter. Emojis function. They work. Over how many? How many are we dividing by? 5. And we want it to equal an average of 80. So we can set it up like this. Now our job is to solve it. Not add 5. Times 5. Easiest way to get rid of a fraction is multiply by your denominator. So we times 5 on both sides. That's going to make this guy and that guy cancel out. Let's add together those numbers because I really don't feel like writing them all again. This is one of those times we have to be patient with ourselves and add them all up because we don't get calculators. 82 plus 84 is 166 plus 71 will be 16 plus 7. All right, it is 312. So work it through however you need to. As long as you get up to 312 plus x, that's my numerator, equals 80 times 5, which is 400. So we multiplied both sides to get rid of the denominator by 5. And we wind up with 312 plus something equals 400. Subtract 312. And we get that x is 88. So what test score do they need to get their average to 80? An 88. That is the answer to our question. That's my answer. Okay. Questions on that one? All right then. But look at number 2. This is the second one on there. I don't have the numbers up there, but I'll put them up here when I get to them. There we go. We okay over there? You okay? I was very emphatic. So now we have that somebody's take-home pay. Let's try not to throw the scissors. Luckily, they're safety scissors, so we should all be safe and fine. But we gonna keep them under control. It's good practice. All right. So we've got a worker's take-home pay is $492 after their deductions. Their deductions are 40% of the gross pay. How much is their gross pay? So this would be, the gross pay is usually how jobs advertise their pay. It's like, we'll pay you $50,000 a year. And then taxes come out. And Social Security. And all those other lovely government paid for things. And so all those deductions, and he's walking out with $492. That's what's on his paycheck that gets sent to the bank. So we want to know what his salary is. How much is he making per pay period? So we've got to first things first, figure out what is our variable. What is it we don't know? The gross pay. That's going to be my variable. You can use whatever the heck symbol you want. I tend to use something vaguely relevant. So like you could use G is gross pay. You can use X because we like X's best. Totally fine. You can use a heart symbol. I don't care. Emojis are valid variables. So how can I write an equation to figure out what what this person's gross pay is? Because they're not gendered. Yeah, we know this is going to equal 492. That's what they tell us. Whatever's happening to the gross pay, it equals 492. We have our gross pay, and then we're taking deductions, which means what operation are we going to use? Subtraction. How do I write 40% of the pay? 0.4. Just like that. 40% of the pay. 0.4G. Otherwise, they just have 40 cents in tax, and I want to live there. Okay, so 40% means we got to multiply it by a piece. So let's simplify the left-hand side. I have 1G minus 0.4G. How many G's we got? 0.6. If I have one gorgonzola pizza, I take away 0.4 of a gorgonzola pizza. So just looking for something with a G. 0.6 gorgonzola pizzas equals 492. Now we're into the part where we go, ew, why do I have to do this without a calculator? Can we write 0.6 as a fraction? 6 over 10. Does that help us with this calculation here? Because that's a little bit easier than divide by 0.6. We did 1 minus 0.4. So that's 1g minus 0.4g. We combined our like terms. As a 1. It looks like an L. Looks like we're looking now at large. There we go. Because when we're here, then we can use that same trick we used before, where we multiply by our denominator. And we get 6g equals 4,920. And that's actually easier to divide because we're not dividing by a decimal. Because dividing by decimals is gross when we don't get to use calculators. Because IU likes to make choices, we don't get to use calculators. And then we're just dividing this. So we can divide however you see fit. If you like long division, great. If we can do stuff in our head, understandable. Okay. We should wind up with 49 divided by 6 is 8. I'm doing it in my head. Hang on. 48. So it leaves us with 12. 20. Yeah. 820. You can always do it this way. 4920 divided by 6. 8 gives us 48. 2, 12, 0, 0. Okay? So it should be 820. However you need to do it, because IU likes to make choices and we don't get to use a calculator, so we got to be able to do it by hand. Either in your head or long division it out yourself, or however shortcut you can do it. If you want to do it in a box, you can do that. 4,920. However you like to divide. So this person's gross pay, what they earned in a week or a 2-week period, was $820, but they only took home $492. It actually sounds about right. The older you get, the more tax they take. Then if you have children, they start taking more. Because you've got to pay for the kiddos. Okay, questions on this one? Because this one got a little bit more complicated on us. Feeling okay? Because we're going to look at another one. This one's number 3. It does have an A and B underneath it, so hopefully we saw that. So we've got a person's intelligence quotient, or IQ. That's what that means. I learned that this week. Is determined by multiplying the quotient of their mental age and their chronological age by 100. A lot of words. A lot of mathy words. What? Okay. So A and B are the questions we're working. We can start with making our own formula. We have pieces here. I've got that we have mental ages involved, got chronological age, got multiplication, we've got quotient. I'm going to write a formula for this, and I'm going to use M for mental age and C for chronological age. How do I write the quotient of mental age and chronological age? How do we write that? M over C. Quotient means divide. M over C. And then we multiply it by 100. Times 100 equals whatever their IQ is, which that's totally an I, not a T. So you can start with like a formula. That's fine. We wrote our own formula here. Then we'll look at A and B and fill in the pieces we know. We want to find the IQ of a 12-year-old with a mental age of 15. So 12-year-old, that's their chronological age. The 12 is going to go in for C. And the mental age of 15, that one's going in for M in our formula we just wrote. So we're going to do, and plug those pieces in. 15. We okay over there, guys? I'm getting a lot of commentary from the peanut gallery. Thanks. And then we have to simplify that. That's going to equal the IQ. That's what we're looking for. Let's not make percussive instruments with my rulers. Thank you. It just gets very distracting. And we have enough distractions in here. All right, so what are we going to get here? What is 15 divided by 12? Yeah. I mean, we could simplify it. Both of those divide by 3 and we get 5/4. That's way easier to think about. 1.25, right? My screen's being a jerk. 1.25 times 100. So what's their IQ? 125.
He's 12 years old, though.
Yes, 12 is the chronological age. 12 years old, IQ of 125 is actually pretty decent. Generally what they say is the average IQ should be about 100 because it's your mental age and your chronological age as one. They're the same. I do believe the actual calculations are slightly more complicated, or at least the tests for mental age are significantly more complicated.
I don't know, in psychology, that's what we learn.
Is that exactly what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a bit long since I took psych. I couldn't remember.
It might be different nowadays, though, too. That might have been the, like, when it was first.
Like the basic.
I don't know.
The basic version. I bet there's a complicated version. Plus the tests for mental age are like, the real ones are like, that would be the technical thing. All right. So that's how we're figuring that out. Let's look at part B. Then what we're asked to find is the mental age. So we're going to be working backwards. So find the mental age. My glove is like decided to stop working for what it's supposed to do. Oh, I hate that so much. That's terrible. There we go. There we go. So we need to find the mental age. That means that's going to be our variable that's left over. Of a 15-year-old who has an IQ of 140. So fill in the pieces we have. I don't know the mental age. I do know their chronological age is 15 times 100 equals 140. Okay, my purple, my blue, and my black are all very, very similar. What is our instinct on this one? You can do that. You can multiply by 15, totally fine. You could also divide by the 100. You could also simplify, because 115 are both divisible by 5 for sure. Whatever you want to do, we should wind up with, my instinct was to divide by the 100, because I would rather have decimals than huge numbers, but that's just me, and y'all get to make your own choices. We should wind up with, so if we do multiply by 15 first, we'll get m times 1500 equals 100 and, wait, whoa, now I'm having to think it hard. 140 times 15 is 2100. Right? Yeah. Is that right? Oh, we don't got to times the 100 because they're all being multiplied together. That's where I got screwed up. There we go. I'm like, wait, that's not right. Since all these pieces are being multiplied together, when we times both sides by 15, the 15 cancels out and we don't distribute it because it's not being added, it's being multiplied. So m times 100 equals 2100. So m equals 21. Like I kept getting 1.4 and I'm like, that's not right. They were not 1 year old mental age to have an IQ of 140. So when in doubt and you're looking at your answers, if you get something that's illogical, look back. Because I definitely made a mistake there. And it took me a minute to figure out what I did. Because I went a different route than I did in my notes, and it took me a second to figure it out. And that's okay. Things happen. Take our time on these. We don't have tons of them. And even on the homework, there's not gazillions of them. Okay? So questions on this one? I have a lot of pieces. Okay. Let's look at number 4. Insulation. These kind of calculations get done a lot, especially in things like advertising. Oh, boo, I have no water. Okay, so we got the cost of installing insulation in a house. This particular house is $2,400. The current monthly heating costs are $200. But the insulation is expected to reduce our heating costs by 10%. How many months will it take to recover the insulation cost? How are we going to start? First things first, what's my variable? How many months? Well, being a jerk, I can't rely on it. Hate that. There we go. How many months? That's what they're asking. So you can use whatever variable you want. I'm going to use m to be months. Use x. I don't care. I'll take that off so I stop relying on it. All right, what pieces do we see in here? What can I write down? The $2,400. What do we know about that $2,400? I kind of see where you're headed. I'm going to word it a slightly different direction. That's what I want to know how much we make up until, right? So that's going to be the total. So I want to know when however much we're saving equals that. That's my total. What next? So I've used this piece. I don't need it anymore. We have our monthly heating costs, which is $200. And the insulation is going to save us 10%.
So would it be 200 and?
So $200 per month. How much is the insulation actually saving us, though? 10% of 200, which is 20. So we're really saving how much per month? $20 a month. Okay, so you can just put 20M. If you do that process in your head, I'm okay with that. You can also write out the whole thing where we do our 200 times 0.1. That's a times, not a minus. It's just bad handwriting. Every month. And we get 20M, which means how many months until we make back our money from this insulation? Not 24. All right, hang on. 24 divided by 2. 120. Okay. Because 24 divided by 2 and then 100 divided by 10. We get a 0. I was going to say, slow down and think. You don't have to be first. You just have to be right.
Exactly.
Whoa, judgy!
I'm never going to answer again then.
That's not what I'm saying. Go slow.
Okay.
It's not a race, is what I'm trying to say. It's not a race. Take your time. Think it through. You don't get bonus points for being the first one to say it. Okay? Let's do one more of these today so that on Monday we're only doing 3 and we'll have time to work on stuff and ask questions. Oh my gosh. What? Time to work? Holy cow. Let's do another one. We're going to do 5 today so that on Monday we only have to do 3. I like that. I like that. So this one's number 5, right? As I'm paying attention. The 600 people?
Yes.
Cool. There we go. All right, so we've got 600 people attending the premiere of a motion picture. Adult tickets cost $9. Children were $6. Box office receipts totaled $4,800. How many children attended the premiere? This one's a little harder. Yeah. That sounds beautiful. Let me get a different color. So, what we have is we've got that adult tickets cost $9 and children cost $6. I don't know anything about adults or children, so we're going to call adults A. Adults, that's A is the number of adults. Now we're going to call C the number of kids. That is, in fact, the number symbol, not a hashtag. That's old school, and that C equals looks weird. There we go. So since we don't know anything about either the adults or the kids, we're going to need 2 variables. Oh, snap. It's kicking up a notch. But yeah, you're exactly right. To do the money, We're going to take our 3 pieces here that have money. I've got $9 for adults. So $9 for every adult. And $6 for every child gives us a total of 4,800 people. Girl, you know you gotta knock with vehemence for me to hear anything in here. Music I can hear. Knocking, I can't hear nothing. All right. Sorry, screen gets blinky when I have to roll. And then Beverly, I'm gonna hand you the copy of the story problems. There we go. There's Shannon. Okay. All right. I don't know why I'm holding it on my feet. I printed them out so that we didn't have to spend our whole time writing the stories.
Oh, all right, thank you.
Okay. All right. So I know this is for the money. Does this help me get my answer? I don't have quite enough information, do I? I have 2 variables. What else do we know? 600 people attended. Well, I know that's a total, right? So it's going to equal 600. What's going with that 600? A plus C. Y'all came up with that really fast. I love that. The number of adults that attended combined with the number of children that attended is 600 humans. We're just looking at how many humans. Okay, so adults and kids is 600 humans. So there's 2 equations for us. Whenever we have 2 variables, we need 2 equations. How can we solve this? You have options here. What's your gut instinct? Multiply the bottom one by what? Yep. So that is definitely an option. To combine them together, multiply the bottom one by something. What's up?
Isn't that thing where, like, you can put them on top of each other and cross it out and then, like...
Uh-huh. In order for us, so what you're thinking of is doing our elimination to eliminate a variable, right? Where we're going to add the 2 lines together. It only works if they have numbers that are going to cancel out. So I can't do it quite yet. This bottom one, we're going to need to multiply by something. By what? -9 or -6. Unfortunately, not 8. So if I want to cancel out the A's, I can multiply by -9. If I want to cancel out the C's, I can multiply by -6. Or if I like those numbers better, because I'm more comfortable with my 6's. Since we know we're looking for how many children, right? Let's cancel out the A's, because I don't care about the adults. I've only asked about the children. So as a shortcut, so I don't have to do extra work to go find the number of kids, let's cancel out the number of adults, which means I'm going to multiply this whole equation by -9. I'm going to give us a little more space, which means I have to undo that. There we go. So I'm going to copy the green equation down. My 9a plus 6c equals 4,800. And then now I'm doing the second one. This was just copying this guy down again so that I can have them next to each other. So then we're going to have -9a plus -9c. I do not care if you double sign it. I genuinely don't. If it helps you keep things organized, do it. Equals -9 times 600 is, no. Yes. -5,400. I'm going to scooch it up a little. Now that I have the same number with the opposite sign on one of my variables, we can smash them together. Shmurm. Old school addition in columns. 9a plus negative 9a gives me 0 a's. That's what we wanted. That cancels out. 6c plus negative 9c, negative 3c. And 4,800 minus 5,400. Negative 600. So how many kids came? 200. And since we were only asked how many kids came, we can stop right there. If we were asked how many adults came, we take that and plug it back in. This is not your only option for solving this. You could have multiplied by negative 6. You could have solved this around to be an A equals or a C equals and use substitution. I don't care how you do it. Just that you do it. Okay? Y'all have 3 minutes until the bell. Oh my gosh, I didn't talk to the bell. Huzzah. Monday we will do 3 more of these, and then we'll have whatever time we have left at the end to work on homework 2.1. Okay?